Kasha Gage, welcome back. Today I'm going to be working on my story 4 in my 2022 December daily album. And I already have a few things pulled out, prepped, and we'll kind of get to that a little bit. First, I'll just show you a recap. This was story 3. This was yesterday. A full page photo of pajamas, and then some long form journaling that talks about the tradition and past Christmas memories. I really love how this one turned out. I love the simplicity. Not every page has to be crafty. And I think you hear me talk a little bit about that in yesterday's video. A big red 3 number with the gold stitching and just a little bit of an embellishment. So for story 4, this is all about our real tree. And this is a story that almost didn't happen. So we ended up getting our real tree on the 2nd, and I'm completely okay with it being on story 4. Part of it, on the 2nd, Ben ended up stringing the lights, and then today he hung the ornaments. And I share some of this in my journaling, why he was the one to do it, and I'll read that to you guys at the end. So I know I had shared in my starting place for December daily, my plan was to do a total of, say, 4, right? So I'm thinking 2 on this side and 2 on the back side. And I was thinking maybe it was going to be vellum or transparency. I did order some specialty vellum. It's white ink on vellum, but it hasn't arrived. So I'm just going to improvise and use what I have instead, so that way I don't get held up. The paper I am choosing to use, this is almost like a tissue paper or like a rice paper. It's really thin and pretty delicate, but I'm going to go with it and we'll see how it holds up. I may end up needing to switch it out at some point, but I've already gone ahead and punched my holes in this, and I'm going to get started. So first we'll start with adhering this full page photo and punching the holes in it. You might hear Henry jingling in the background. He always wants to help, so sorry about that. Just using a rolling adhesive to do this. And then I'm going to line this up and punch my holes, so that part's done. And I think I'll even put on my number 4. Okay, that's pretty good. Could use a little bit of trimming. Sometimes I just don't even care. I just let it be. Okay. So grabbing over my 6-hole punch for this, because I want to make sure the holes lined up. I'm just peeling off that backing, and then it's seeing if I can even see the holes. Okay, so I do need to trim that. Could use a craft knife. We'll just try it with some scissors. Sometimes I use a craft knife. Sometimes I use my paper trimmer. Sometimes I just go ahead and use my scissors. Whatever's easily ready and available for me to use or pull out. Okay. So just gonna try to line up those holes. It's pretty darn close. Might be just a pinch off, but that's okay. All right. So we'll go ahead. I'm thinking of putting this number 4 here. I like that it's small. I considered a lot of different numbers. I have all my numbers sorted out in these plastic packaging bags, and I'll just show you a couple of them here. So there's a big red 4. I actually kind of like that 4. I liked this green, but for me, it just felt too big, because I would have wanted it to go there. Like I love how big it is, but it ends up for me, takes away a little bit of the photo. So maybe we'll wait on the number, either the 4, but I really like this gold too. So, okay, I lied. We're not going to put the number on yet. We'll wait. So a couple of things. What I'm going to do, I want to do a shaker pocket. I believe Allie might have shown this too. I can't quite remember. I think it might have been Allie that she did a shaker pocket. So my plan is I'll add a bunch of these. I've pulled out different die cuts and embellishments and some plastic trays. Some of this is from this year. Some of it's from past. And then just fill it with all of these die cuts. Maybe I won't use all of them. Add some different sequins. I think I got both of these different sequence packs off of Amazon. I know for sure I did this one this year. So I will try to find them in my past orders and link them for you guys below of what I can find. So then we'll add a photo here. This is of Henry underneath the tree as we were finishing up decorating. And then the back side, my plan then is to probably do this way for the photos, or the journaling in the photos. And I did go ahead and print my journaling out on my laser printer, again, just on white copy paper, and minked it. I am having so much fun playing with my mink this year. It is new to me, and I'm just loving it. I'm loving that little extra shine that it is bringing into the album. So I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on fast forward. I will play some music, hop in there, explain a little bit here and there, and at the end we'll do a recap and I will share my words.
Okay, so jumping in here, the first thing I'm going to get started with is making that shaker pocket. Grabbing over some of those circle die cuts. The Oh Christmas Tree is from this year's add-on, and a couple of the other ones are from previous years. Be tucking in some plastic trees that I had in my stash, and then grabbing both packets of sequins, the star sequins, dumping a bunch into the pocket, then I dump a bunch out because it felt a little bit too much. I'll be grabbing my fuse tool in just a minute to seal that pocket up so all the sequins and the die cuts and embellishments do not fall out. Next, I'm going to do the process or start the process of adhering everything down. That's pretty much the last step in this layout. Adhering the photos and that piece of white cardstock, trying to line them up using my ruler. And then on the back side, I'll end up adding my photo and again, putting that journaling on top of that journal card. Then the last step will be to add the number 4 chipboard. I did end up going with the white with the gold foil. That was part of this year's main kit.
All right, so finishing up here, you can see part of what I did or used here was this Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, and it works pretty well. You can barely see that, and I'm sure once it dries a little bit more, but that I thought was something for me to try as opposed to red line tape. I just wanted to try to keep it as invisible as possible. Love that there's this little shaker pocket there and stuff can still move around. You saw me peel some of the chipboard off the backing. It's a little crowded, but that makes it fun, I guess. So I also then adhered that white chipboard, but just rolling adhesive. I love this one, just the white paper, and I can see it might have problems. There's a potential of it ripping. So there is a chance this paper might have to get replaced, but I do love how it looks, at least right now. Photo of Henry underneath the tree. And then on the back side, using one of those 4x4 journal cards, printing my journaling out with my laser printer and minking it, and then another photo. So I'll read here what my journaling was for the day. The tradition of getting a real tree started the first year we were married. I love that we have both, the fake and the real. Discussing when we were going to pick our tree, Ben expressed his lack of excitement this year with it being just the two of us this holiday. I reminded him about the tradition and that we need to create magic for ourselves. After receiving disappointing news from the doctor on the 2nd, he really wasn't in the mood. But I suggested it would be good to get out of the house to take our minds off everything and to create magic. So the 3 of us loaded up and headed to the tree lot. We got there just as they were closing early because of the rain. Once we started rocking around, I'm not sure who was more excited, him or Henry, as we searched for the perfect tree. Once we were back home, he anchored the tree in the stand, strung the strands of color, yes, color, lights, and hung our keepsake ornaments with my supervision since I am allergic and break out in hives. I know, being allergic to evergreen trees is like being allergic to Christmas. I'm so thankful we kept this tradition alive this year. This tree is a beautiful reminder that the season may not always be merry and bright, but there's beauty and good in every day, and sometimes you just have to create your own magic. So I love that. I love that we still ended up following through with this tradition. A couple of things I did consider is adding something gold here, and I may still, maybe I'll add like a little gold chipboard. I don't know. I feel like that might tie it together. And then maybe, the same thing, adding a little bit of gold here. But we'll see. I think part of it, before I finalize that decision, will be looking to how tomorrow comes together. My plan is to use this page, Let Me Count the Ways 1 through 5. This was part of the numbers scrapbook kit. I'm not sure if that's still available physically or digitally, but I'll make sure to link what products I use in tomorrow's video. And I've already gone ahead and cut this custom title out using my silhouette from gold cardstock. So my plan is for tomorrow, 5 reasons why I love December. And then sharing with you guys a little bit. So I'm thinking I might use red, and then either using some of these frames that were part of, the stories of the Christmas past, or the history story kit. I kind of like the idea. I was also considering these circles. One thing why I think I'm now maybe leaning towards these, we'll just call them like Polaroids, if you will, chipboard Polaroid frames, is because it carries on this repetition of the squares. Not saying that I couldn't break them up with the circles. We'll kind of see tomorrow when we go and dive in and play with that. But that's going to be a wrap for story 4. And if you guys have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And until tomorrow, guys, enjoy your weekend.